And so, we should know what our total power rating for our facility, so we could put a check mark there, we hope. We don't necessarily know what our energy is doing over time. That's one of the big things. We can look at our monthly bill, but we really don't know how well it's being distributed. That's one of the first things that this is, the PUE console. All right? Getting this sort of trended information either instantaneously and then being able to trend it is what we don't get from our monthly bills. And that's one of the first things that we can gain from a DCIM product, is getting that sort of information and trying to see what's using energy, how it's using it. And that tends to help us find our inefficient portions of our facility and perhaps what IT is doing if they want to hear it, or depending if they're driving the product, they may be telling us what it is that they expect to happen for the energy that they're using. So our first point of IT load has been the output of the UPS. Assuming we can segregate out things off the output of the UPS, like crack fans, or rather crave fans, or anything else that's not a pure IT load, that's been a default sort of answer as to what's my IT load. And to a certain extent, that's a good enough answer in many cases. It's certainly a good baseline when you don't compare it to anything, so it's a bit of useful information. However, typically UPS output is stated in kW, kVA. It's not actual energy over time. It's not a recording meter. So you can take snapshots, but not everybody runs over to the UPS and polls it every 15 minutes. So unless you've got some software doing that, which is one of the functions of DCIM, you tend to either take a daily reading, whatever your particular frequency is, and if you're charting that against your daily loads, you're beginning to have at least a sense of a day or how many hours in the day, depending on how often you're doing it manually or even Excel spreadsheet, whatever it is that you're using. And ultimately, we can take off our shoes, calculate, and come up with a PUE. The big question, of course, PUE, it came out now 5 years ago, or a little bit over 5 years ago, from the Green Grid, and it started off as a snapshot. PUE, if you don't know the acronym, is power, and P for power implies instantaneous. Energy is over time, P is instantaneous. So is it a snapshot? Is it taken, December 31st when the chillers have shut down and you're on free cooling? Or is it in July 30th when we've got everything cranking as hard as we can, trying to prevent the load from running away? So PUE right now has been thrown around, and finally has gotten recognized as how to do it correctly.